Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
Well, we're almost there. The PA is going to get signed. They added a few more addendum items. It just clarifies that final minutia details will get solved in an addendum later on. But the purchase agreement is going to get signed. We're going to get there. I signed my portion. Now I'm just waiting for the seller to sign their portion. So literally every email I am opening up to see if it's DocuSign completed. So then there's that. I also had a chance to talk to one of the franchisees. Shout out to Dan. Thank you, Dan, for your time today. And a theme I heard, which I've worked at one of the major franchisors in the health and fitness world. The same size of like a Snap Fitness and Orange Theory, Anytime, one of those sizes. And something that I saw there that I heard today, which really resonated, two elements. One of them was that struggling owners will whine and complain. They'll find each other and they will complain to each other about how corporate is not treating them well, they're not supporting them. And one example is they all said like, well, we want corporate to provide a sales trainer, maybe get a group discount, but one trainer to cover all of our locations. And the franchisee I talked to said that he's doing fine. He's not he doesn't have like massive growth numbers, but like a decent income from it. And he said, well, that's going to cost us extra money. Do you all want to pony up an extra $1,000 a month roughly for this extra training? And the whining franchisees were like, well, no, we can't afford that. That's out of the question, but corporate should provide it. And it's the classic, like, I want something given to me and I'm going to give nothing in return. And it's life owes me something because I deserve it, which is terrible logic. Like you are not owed practically anything in this life. And unfortunately, you got to go after it. You got to go get it. And you usually have to over deliver for what you get in return, whether it be at your job or at home, or those are probably the main two places people live. But or even like in the gym, like you have to put out a lot of work, a lot of sweat. You got to diet. You gotta go the extra mile and text the friend. You gotta go the extra mile and deliver too much at work, only to get like a meager lift in feedback that you receive. And unfortunately, that's the way it is in the franchise world and the business world. And so that was something that I heard. And obviously, and I'm sure Dan would appreciate this too. There's going to be bias with any story and backstory. He is doing well in that world, so he's going to have a positive light. If I talk to one of the struggling franchisees, I'm sure I'd get their struggling story too on why they are in the right and they're not being treated rightly. So we'll take both sides with a grain of salt. That's probably the only way to do it justly. But also another thing I took away as well, which I've seen confirmed over and over, after looking at over 100 different due diligence packages. We'll just say over 60. I don't know if it quite hit 100 yet. But owners that are struggling, their budget is usually $300 to like $600 a month in marketing. Like it's nothing. A typical number, at least that I'm seeing in the Twin Cities, is it costs about maybe $20, $30 per lead, like decent lead. And then 1 out of 4 of those will convert to a paying sign-up member. So about $100, $150, maybe $200 per new member. And if you're a if you're like a more affordable box gym, like an Anytime or a Snap Fitness that pays $50 a month, a $200 acquisition cost, that's going to struggle. That's going to be really hard to justify. And so you're going to be going for like cheap traffic, cheap members, but also a quicker turnaround and a low value experience. If you're going for more of these middle, higher price point memberships that are $120, $150, $180, $200 a month, then you can justify this $200 per acquisition thing. Pay $200 to get $200 a month. That's a pretty easy yes. And so this particular owner, Dan, he's doing more of that paid traffic, that $2,000 to $3,000 a month ad spend, which that's what I'm aiming to do. And that's the paid side. You have to have the organic posting, the organic traffic, the referrals, the hashtags. That's technically free. You're not paying for that boost. But for the paid side, you have to be pumping money in, guys. Like, you can't just sit back and expect that you build it and they will come. For better or worse, like in a competitive world, if that's all it took, there would be way more gyms per capita than there are right now. Right now, it's a very crowded space. And if you wanted it to be even more crowded and you just opened the front doors and people were flocking to join your gym, like, there'd be way more gyms. Yeah, that's a vending machine model. That is old school. That stopped after 2015. That does not work. Because you built it, that just means you put out a couple $100,000 in costs. That doesn't mean people are going to sign up. You still have to pay for advertising, organic and paid. You have to be involved in the community, join the parade, get involved in booster clubs, join the PTA, sponsor the local high school musical plays that go on. Shake hands, go to your actual business that you own. If you want to see a business model that's failing, at one of the franchises that I worked at, they had a private equity group that were scooping up struggling gyms. And their model is you buy a gym for book value, so like $20,000, $30,000. You fix it up, clear the debts, but then you basically hire like high school kids to run your gym. You don't pay your trainers diddly squat, and it's fully staffed at $9.50 an hour or whatever the rate is. And you now are basically squeezing the members for as much as you can before you close the doors. And it's a terrible model because you're scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the quality of the culture of the gym that you want to have. You don't want people that are struggling into your gym, that are struggling to pay, that are difficult people to interact with, that hate the world, that are going to drive their car through the front door if they don't get a free bring a buddy pass with them. Like, you want to have a high quality experience and something that people are excited to tell their friends about. And so, talking today with Dan, it just reinforced over and over. If you're active in your club, if you pay for the paid traffic, if you're coming up with new summer challenges, new back to school giveaways, they see you in the parade, they want to interact with you. The members miss seeing the owner come to the club. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be alive when I go to work. Like, I don't want to be the person that writes the check and then disappears. Like, or why? Like, when people, what is it? When people retire, there's some adage I heard. I think it's true. I think it's scientifically proven. I don't know. But the adage was 10 years after you retire is ballpark your life expectancy. So if you retire at 50, you're probably going to be about done around 60, 65, 70. If you retire at like 70, you're probably going to be alive for another 10 years after that. And you don't have to work for your whole life, but you want to be alive for your whole life. And I want to show up at my gyms. I want to be engaged. I want to be present. I want to sweat. I want to have sore muscles, and I want to hobble after leg day. And I want to be excited to take my supplements. Like, I want to be my best me and live in this amazing body that I'm building. And it just reinforced over and over where your excitement, where your life is, where your drive is. Owning a business is not a vending machine. It takes energy. And if it doesn't take energy, then it's too good to be true, or it's going to bleed you dry. And it sounds bad, but like if you're looking to buy something and it's just going to serve you and you do nothing for it and it bleeds you dry, that's probably what you deserve, because you're expecting people to give you something. And it's a business says it's not an annuity. A business says it's hard work. A business says there are risks. A business says you do need to train and develop your people. A business is being involved in where you are. A business is providing value. A business is making the world a better place. If you're not doing those things, then this sounds harsh, but don't be surprised if you get slapped in the face with a reality check on that. And that's probably just me venting at the folks that buy a business to then just give me, and they don't care about their staff, they don't care about their customers, they don't care about their vendors, and they just care about themselves. Like, those people will fail. And if they're not failing right now, like, they will fail if you wait long enough. And so, talk to franchisees, hear their stories, talk to the franchisees that are doing the business the way you want to be doing it. Glad I got a chance to talk to Dan. He's doing it the way I want to. I want to make this my full-time effort and focus. And so I want to join him in those ranks, and excited to to go forward from there. But got sidetracked with my venting about being an active business owner because that's my heart. That's what I want. And when you own your business, yes, I will take vacations. Yes, I will have those fun trips that will be Instagram worthy. They'll be fun. If I post all the glamour shots, I'm sure they make people jealous. But for right now, those glamour shots are driving to the Midwest, Nebraska, Iowa, maybe Kansas, and just be present. Like, be around the people you want to be around. And it's like, if that's me and my fellow franchisees are whiners, complainers, and bring the world down, like, I got to talk to new franchisee peers. So thanks, Dan. Appreciate your time. And other folks out there, if you're ready to live your business high and drive it high and not into the ground, then I want to be in your corner, and I want you to be in my corner.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY Due Diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.